Okay, folks, get ready. We are diving deep into that crazy qualifying session at the Singapore Grand Prix. We've got a ton to unpack, especially about Franco Colapinto's performance.
Singapore always delivers, doesn't it? It's a track that really pushes drivers to the edge.
Absolutely, no margin for error.
Yeah.
You sent over a bunch of interesting stuff on Colapinto. So let's start there. What stood out to you about his qualifying run?
Well, I think what's fascinating is how he handled the pressure, a rookie on this track, tricky conditions, constantly changing.
And don't forget, he doesn't have the benefit of those upgrades yet. Albon's running a faster car this weekend.
Exactly. And even without the upgrades, he still managed to put his car just 7 thousandths of a second behind Albon's time. 7 thousandths, that's nothing.
He was this close to out-qualifying his teammate. Incredible for a rookie. But in the interview transcript you provided, Colapinto seems a little frustrated. He thinks he left some time out there.
Yeah, he's right. He did. He's struggled a bit with tire warm-up, particularly in those first few laps, and Sector 3 seemed to be a real trouble spot. He was losing quite a bit of time to Albon there.
Sector 3, with all those tight corners.
Ah.
Ouch, yeah. Cold tires in Singapore. That's a recipe for disaster.
Tell me about it. It's something he'll need to work on with his team for the race, but, I mean, even with those tire issues, he's still almost out-qualified Albon. If he can nail that tire warm-up, who knows what he can achieve on Sunday.
It's interesting, though, because you mentioned Albon also had some complaints about the tires. What was he saying?
Both Williams drivers, actually, weren't happy with the tires. Seems like they weren't getting the grip they needed. Albon specifically mentioned some issues with tire preparation. So it makes you wonder, is there something going on with the Williams team and their tire strategy overall?
Yeah, they might need to figure that out before Sunday if they want to turn those qualifying positions into some decent points.
Absolutely. But stepping back for a second, Colapinto's performance has to be encouraging. I mean, this is a rookie on a notoriously difficult track, still learning the ropes, and he's pushing his teammate, a driver with way more experience at this level.
And let's not forget, he managed to qualify ahead of Sergio Perez.
That's huge. Perez had a nightmare qualifying session. For Colapinto to out-qualify a seasoned driver like that, even on an off day, it says a lot about his potential.
Okay, so heading into race day, what does this all mean for Colapinto? He's starting P12. What should we be watching for?
Well, overtaking in Singapore is notoriously difficult. Starting position is key. He's got a tough race ahead of him starting P12. But if he can get that tire warm-up sorted out and avoid any first-lap chaos...
A little bit of that Singapore magic.
Exactly. A well-timed safety car, a mistake from the drivers ahead. You never know what might happen.
We will definitely be keeping a close eye on him. Can he turn this impressive qualifying performance into his second points finish of the season?
It's possible. And here's something to think about. If he can perform at this level without the upgrades, imagine what he'll be capable of when he does have them.
Now, that's an exciting thought. It really makes you wonder how he handles pressure, right?
Yeah.
Like being a rookie in this pressure cooker. Some drivers thrive in that environment, others not so much. Where do you think Colapinto falls on that spectrum?
Well, remember that karting championship you mentioned? He was in a tough spot, boxed in by competitors, and then boom, he makes this gutsy move, a real calculated risk, and ends up winning the whole thing. That kind of composure under pressure makes me think he could actually excel in a chaotic race like Singapore.
So you're saying his lack of F1 experience at this track might actually be an advantage?
Yeah, in a way, maybe. We've seen it before. Rookies who aren't yet fully aware of just how unforgiving those walls are, they might be more likely to take risks that a seasoned driver wouldn't even think about.
So while the veterans are tiptoeing around, Colapinto could be the one making moves, taking advantage of any opportunity that pops up.
Exactly. He's shown that he can learn quickly, adapt to new tracks, and he's got that fearlessness, that drive to prove himself. It could definitely play in his favor on Sunday.
Okay, so we've got Colapinto starting P12, potentially using that rookie fearlessness to his advantage.
Yeah.
But we got to talk about the elephant in the room.
Ferrari?
Ding, ding. What happened there? Saints binning it in Q3, Leclerc's lap time deleted. Not exactly their finest hour.
Yeah, they really struggled to get the tires working. Saints even said something like, the rears just weren't there after he spun. And when a team like Ferrari has an off day, it tends to have ripple effects.
Speaking of ripple effects, that red flag after Sainz's crash probably messed with a few drivers' rhythm, Leclerc concluded, I'd imagine.
Yeah, definitely disrupted the flow. Track conditions change so quickly here, even a short delay can have a big impact. So, not only did Ferrari have their own issues, but that red flag might have cost other drivers a chance at a better starting position.
So, Where does this leave Ferrari for Sunday? Starting further down the grid than they're used to, will we see them getting aggressive, trying to make up places quickly, or...
Well, you know what they say about overtaking in Singapore? It's like trying to thread a needle in the dark while riding a roller coaster.
And with these new, wider cars,
Yeah.
forget about it. Passing's even tougher this year.
Exactly. That they'll need to be smart, strategic, maybe hope for a safety car, or try to make up ground during pit stops. It's going to be an uphill battle for them, that's for sure.
It sounds like this is shaping up to be one of those races where strategy and a little bit of luck could play a huge role.
Oh, absolutely.
We've talked about Colapinto, we've talked about Ferrari, but we can't forget about the guys at the front. Verstappen, Hamilton, and of course, Lando Norris. Wow, what a qualifying session he had.
He was on another level, wasn't he? The car looks amazing, but Norris is really driving the wheels off it, that last lap.
Poetry in motion. He made it look effortless, even with Verstappen right behind him. Some of the commentators were comparing it to some of Hamilton's best laps at this track.
High praise indeed. And, it does make you wonder, are we witnessing the changing of the guard?
The rise of a new king of the night. I like it.
Let's not forget Hamilton's a 7-time world champion. He knows how to win in Singapore.
That's true, but there's something special about Norris this weekend, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. He's driving with confidence, and that McLaren is clearly working well for him. It's going to be a fascinating battle on Sunday.
Okay, so as we look ahead to the race, so many storylines, so many possibilities. Where do you even begin? What are you most excited to see play out under the lights on Sunday night?
After digging into all this, I think what intrigues me the most is how Colapinto handles the pressure of race day. Qualifying is one thing, but to deliver a strong race result, from P12 no less, that would be a real statement.
It would. Imagine if he could pull it off. A rookie in a car that's not even at its full potential, going toe-to-toe with some of the best drivers in the world.
And if he can score some points, what does that say about his potential when he finally gets those upgrades?
Okay, now I'm really excited for this race. This is what Formula One is all about. The drama, the unpredictability, the sheer talent on display. Thanks for breaking it all down with me.
Anytime. Enjoy the race.
Oh, I will.
Yeah.
And folks, you won't want to miss this one. Buckle up, because it's going to be a wild ride.